Are you looking for true personal freedom? The freedom to design a life you truly desire? Then you're absolutely in the right place. True personal freedom comes from when you take 100% responsibility and control of your money and your mind. Here you're going to learn ideas, tips, and wisdom that's going to help you bridge the gap from where you are now to your dream life in the future. My name is Randy Wilson, and welcome to the Rich Mind Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Rich Mind Podcast. And today I want to share with you an equation. This is kind of a success equation, something that I've discovered in my journey here in the last few months. As you may know or may not know, I'm an avid podcast listener, meaning I'm always searching for new nuggets of wisdom, new nuggets of knowledge from those that are on their own path, right? And so then I can take their knowledge and their information and then try to implement it into my life to try to gain more clarity, more things, the success that I'm looking for in my life. So on a podcast episode, this person was being interviewed and he shared this equation that I thought was super powerful that I wanted to share with you today. And that equation, and imagine if you're listening to me, just imagine in parentheses, E times F times win, or WIN, that's what's in parentheses, to the power of C. Let me say that again in parentheses. It's E times F times win, or WIN, that's what's in parentheses, to the power of C. Now let's break that down. And he went into what that meant, and it's super powerful, and hopefully you will see the power in it when you think about it in your own life. So E is energy times your focus times what's important now. That's what win represents, to the power of consistency. So, well, let me say that one more time. Energy times focus times what's important now to the power of consistency. So the process of achieving a result. So success can be anything to anybody, right? It depends on what exactly you're looking for and what you're trying to do in your life as to what is successful for you. What is for me doesn't necessarily need to be the same for you. So the idea is to plug this type of an equation into the result that you're trying to get and see if you can't help yourself get a little bit more clarity, get a little bit more faster results as you're moving forward. So thinking about your energy. So there are, a million different energy drinks out there these days. There's different pills you can take out there these days. But one of the easiest ways is to get more sleep, right? I think that falls into a category of folks of not necessarily thinking the simplicity of just getting some more rest and how important that is in their day-to-day activity. So that would be my first suggestion, is when you're thinking about energy. And I'm not saying I don't take and drink caffeine, right? I'm a caffeine addict, probably just as much as anybody. I try not to drink the sugary caffeine drinks, but at the same time, I definitely need my caffeine to function throughout the day as well. So you can use that, but also the ability to get rest at the end of the night. I try to at least get 7 hours of sleep. And sometimes I'm able to get even up to 8, which is fantastic. But so that would be my suggestion as far as trying to get your energy under control and the first part of this equation. And then the second, moving on into focus. So you really need to get clarity of exactly what it is, that destination that you're looking for first, because if you don't know exactly where you're headed, your focus is going to be off. You're not going to know where to put your attention to, right? So if you are stuck in your current experience that you're having, whether it's a job, whether it's your environment that you're in, get clarity of exactly what you're looking to accomplish first. Something that my wife and I actually just this last weekend, we're currently in transition in our place of residence. And so we're dreaming about already that dream home of what we're going to have in the future. We know exactly what we want. We can visualize and talk about it almost down to the exact detail of exactly what it's going to have. And with that, that allows us then to focus on the things that we need to do to accomplish that goal of having that dream home in the future. So that would be my second suggestion as far as focusing and using focus to achieve the results that you're looking for, is you need to get clarity of exactly what you're looking for. So what's important now? So the win part of this equation is that there are all kinds of things to think about. So let's use this house as an example. There are many steps in the process to get from where I am now to that dream home in the future, right? But I can't focus on and I can't worry about steps 8, 9, 10. I don't know how many there will be between us today and us then moving into that home. But what I can do is focus on now. What can I do now to start the process of even making that home a reality? A couple of things I can do is I can jump on Zillow, would be a perfect example, and just start seeing what is available in the marketplace. If I intend to build this property, I can start getting on websites of builders and seeing if they have the models or the fixtures and the styles and things that we're looking for. There are things that I can do now that will get us closer to the process of buying this dream home. We need to know what it's going to be approximately in price, right? So I can start putting numbers to paper as far as figuring out what it's going to cost to buy that house, which will then tell me what I'm going to need to accumulate if I don't have it already for the down payment or to buy it outright or whatever the process is going to be. But the idea, though, is to make sure that you're focusing on what you can do now and not being too overwhelmed with the future, right? So then it's to the power of consistency. So consistent action, doing things on a steady, consistent basis. One thing I've done with me personally right now is the example I'd like to use is this podcast right now that we're listening to, or that you're listening to right now. So number one, let me say right now that I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening to me this far, and hopefully you're gaining value out of the episodes that I'm producing. But the idea is that I'm trying to be consistent with the podcast. I'm trying to grow something bigger than where it is obviously today, right? So I'm focusing on the outcome, which is a larger community of folks that are trying to find personal freedom through financial education, through personal development, right? But the idea is that I need to show up. I need to be consistent. I need to make sure that I meet the commitments that I have. And if I don't do that, if I break away from that consistency, then this equation that we're talking about is all really going to go for naught. So same thing with buying this dream home that we talked about, right? So if we're not consistent with thinking about it, right, dreaming about it, going to see model homes, getting the idea of where we want it to be, getting our finances in order, making sure that we are in a place both from a financial standpoint, but then also from an emotional standpoint, right? Making sure we're ready to pull the trigger when it's time. And the best part about it is I know that we will be, because of all the work that we've done up until this point. So that last part of being consistent is also very important. So just make sure that you're thinking about this equation the next time you're trying to achieve a result, right? When I heard this, it really resonated with me and how I think. And it's something I try to keep top of mind. So let me go over this one more time. So it's E times F times when to the power of C. So that's energy times focus times what's important now to the power of consistency. So hopefully you found value in that episode, right? So the idea is to get some different ideas, some different ways of thinking. Start taking control of your outcomes that you're looking to achieve, right? And getting ideas from different people, implementing into your life is exactly what I've done in mine to achieve bigger and better results that I'm trying to do out there in the world today. So hopefully that serves you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you would, take a minute. I'd really appreciate a review. If you would go to the place where you listen to this podcast and share a review, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm trying to spread the message with as many people as I possibly can, and I truly would appreciate that if you'd be willing to do that for me. So until the next episode, I look forward to connecting with you all very soon. Until then, bye now. Thank you for joining me on the Rich Mind Podcast. I hope you found a ton of value in this episode. If so, I'd really appreciate a 5-star review. and you can also share it with your family and friends. And as my mentor Jim Rohn shared with me, in order to have more, you must first become more. And in order to become more, you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So go out there today and work harder on yourself to become more and build the life of your dreams. Until next time, my friends.